Hi, I'm Laura Rolfe, host of Powered by Franchising and CEO of Mint Franchise Consultants. It is always fun to talk to legacy brands as well as some emerging brands, and today is no different. We get representation from both brands through Purpose Brands. We're going to be chatting with Brett Ganther regarding Orangetheory Fitness and John Thuringer, senior franchise developer for Purpose Brands, representing Waxing the City. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
So excited to have you both on the show. John, you have been involved in franchising much longer than I have, as well as longer than Brett has. I find that a lot of people, once they enter the foyer of franchising, they stay because it's just so rewarding and it's such a cool industry. Tell our listeners a little bit about how you got started in franchising and your role at Purpose Brands.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I absolutely agree. This is all I will do. I'm the bug is hit. I'm addicted. It's very fun to be able to help people, watch them become successful, not just monetarily, just change people's lives and just do things for themselves and get out of the corporate grind. We hear this from so many people, whether there's layoffs happening or not, that they just really enjoy doing something for themselves and taking a bet on themselves, which is very gratifying, actually. So it's fun to be a small part of that. I've been here at Purpose Brands for just about 17 years. So just truly love what I do. Love this team. And yeah, it's just been a really, really fun ride.
Well, very cool. And 17 years is a long time. So you've seen the growth opportunities that have happened with Purpose Brands and some of the seasoned brands, the additions and growth opportunities. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into that as we get along in the show. Brett, you're a little bit newer to franchising. Tell our listeners a little bit about your background and what brought you to Purpose Brands last year.
Yeah, mine's a little bit more unique. Lots of business to business and leadership background, but I was with another Minnesota company, Best Buy, for going on 25 years, I think, if you add it all together in various different roles. But my wife works for Purpose Brands for many years, 10 years. And I got to see from a different lens. So they were a client of mine. I helped sell TVs and equipment and the AV for all the studios in this corporate office that we're in. It was kind of unique how I found them. I found them not specifically because my wife worked here, but because they were rated best place to work. And in my mind, hey, if they're best place to work, they're growing. So that means they're going to need some stuff. But the culture here really reminded me of the early foundation of Best Buy. They did a lot of things to help me and my family as I did get married. Many of the people that work here came to the wedding. So it built a lot of relationships. And when the opportunity arose, it just kind of became a no-brainer. Also, like you mentioned, Laura, that once you get into franchising, nobody wants to leave, right? And so this was a good opportunity to mix my skill sets with a fantastic company, and here we are today.
Well, excellent. Well, glad you made the leap from Best Buy, which has a strong reputation as well, to Purpose Brands. Purpose Brands, you have some legacy brands in there: Orangetheory Fitness, Anytime Fitness, and then the Bar Method, as well as Waxing the City, are a little bit newer. So, John, why don't you speak a little bit to what drives Purpose Brands' value system and is so attractive to aspiring entrepreneurs to want to join as franchisees for one of these four brands?
Yeah, the word always comes to mind is culture, and I know it can be overused, but it's so much. Brett hit on it. It attracts talent, it attracts people wanting to work here, but it absolutely does the opposite, or the same, but the opposite side of the equation for prospects and then ultimately franchisees, because they've heard about our support. They've heard that this brand is not only large. Anytime Fitness is a juggernaut in franchising, right? We have 5,500 stores open in 43 plus countries, all 7 continents. I mean, short of McDonald's, and maybe Subway. There's not many franchises that get this big, this size, but it's not just that number that's impressive. It's how we've done it. It's funny because I had a customer tell me this years ago, and I joked that I was going to steal it from him, and I use it all the time, and I love it. But it's who we are. When you do things well and you do things the right way, money is the byproduct. We do that with our heart in the right place. We really do. And I believe that thoroughly. It's a big reason I've been here so long. This isn't just a job. This isn't just a place to punch a clock and make money. Of course, you got to make money. We all get that. Our entrepreneurs, our franchisees have to make money. But Brett and I literally coach them on the front end. It's way more about culture and taking care of the employees first. Customer's not always right, but if your employee is happy, they don't turn over. They stay. They refer people. They take care of your customer because they gush on that customer because they're literally happy with what they're doing. It's not rocket science, but a lot of businesses miss that. They go right to the bottom line. It's only about checks and balances. Of course, that's important here. Our EBITDA is very strong. Our failure rate is incredibly low, but we do things the right way. So it's that culture that just completely fuels us. What Brad didn't tell you is this is actually voted the #1 workplace in Minnesota 4 years in a row. There's Best Buy here, there's Target here, there's Honeywell here, there's 3M here. That's something we're massively proud of. So not to go on, but truly culture is what drives us and just doing things the right way. And that becomes kind of addictive, truthfully. When you do that and you see, oh, so if I do this right, my employees don't leave, it's a little bit more fun or a lot more fun, and I can make money. Yeah, this works. This is what a lot of people have been looking for. I'm not saying we're perfect. We're not for everybody, but it is a very good group of people. Something we're very, very proud of.
Well, and I think that's one of the important things that I talk to my candidates about is, what are their values and what is going to be a good cultural fit for them in looking at different brands, not only the investment level, but how do they see themselves interacting with the corporate team that's going to support them in business, the marketing and operations, the business coaches, as well as their fellow franchisees. And so if you're looking at a particular brand, you want to make sure that you're in alignment with that particular brand. And then when you have a parent company that has that cultural fit across all brands, then you're part of a much larger system, a much larger family that can be replicated in your success and you building an empire, quite frankly, because many of your operators do own multiple locations across different brands, which is cool.
100%. And to add to that, Laura, well said. More than 50% of our franchisees are multi-unit operators. And that's something not because Brett and I are good salespeople, right? We think we're good at what we do, but it's not just that. It's that they've come back to buy more than one because they all the right things you just said. So that's a big stat for us too. It's not just about us being large and big and hey, look at us. That's not the attitude we take. If anything, we look at it the opposite way, that now we feel like we got a target on our back. Now everybody knows we're #1. We know this, that, or the other. So now we're going to be copied. We're going to be whatever. That's fine, but it just makes us better. We always need to evolve. We don't stand still around here.
Well, and not only are you as corporate headquarters the best place to work, but you're also consistently listed in the top 50 or top 100 franchises to own on all of those rankings, which is that's important too. So when people are looking for franchises and they're looking for best franchises to own, many of your brands are popping to the top of the list.
Yes, thank you.
So Brett, let's dive a little bit deeper into Orangetheory Fitness. Been around for a long time. I've been a member of my local Orangetheory Fitness club and love the rigorous exercise that I get as a member, get great communication from the franchisee and their team at my local gym. What are some of the differentiating factors for Orangetheory that have led to its successful growth and continue expansion in the system?
Yeah, I think the first and foremost is the product, right? It's so many of the fitness, call it a fad, that's out there. We see trends, we see different types of workouts, we see things coming in and out. Orangetheory, the fact that it's science backed and really focuses on getting your heart into different zones makes it sustainable. It's going to last through those trends. I also strongly feel that the camaraderie and the community that is built from the group class kind of really puts it up against anybody that would be paying for a normal gym membership and going and then having to do add-ons like personal trainers, what have you. You have a community of fellow people making you feel comfortable, taking people like me, right? I always tell the story. My wife will work out watching TV. She'll find a way to work out. She parks further away so she can walk further and more steps. I'm the person that needs somebody motivating me. And I might not completely think that I need that help, but in reality, when I start going to these studios and going to the classes, I'm going to find that that encouragement keeps me coming. That encouragement helps me live a healthier lifestyle. And that's really where Orangetheory excels, I believe, is they're not, it's a byproduct, much like John mentioned before. It's a byproduct that, yeah, you might get toned and you might get some muscles, but at the end of the day, we're here to live longer, right? I have a family, I have kids, and I want to be there for them as they grow up. And Orangetheory is really centering me around that. How do we make sure that you're healthy and live longer?
Yeah, well, and you don't know how hard you can work until you have one of those coaches at Orangetheory say, you're not, correcting or changing the way that you're lifting the weights or running on the treadmill or using the rowing machine. And that encouragement gets me to get into that orange zone and red zone periodically. So
That red zone kills you.
Oh, I know. Can't sustain there for very long. So how does Purpose Brands support the Orangetheory franchisees in the growth of the existing gyms as well as new people who are looking at Orangetheory for the first time?
Yeah, I think Orangetheory and the merger with Self-Esteem Brands to become Purpose Brands, really, it was a merger of equals. It's the best way I've kind of heard it presented. And it truly is that. There's a lot of great things that we are learning from Orangetheory and that they did as a franchisor that, candidly, we probably thought we were doing it better, and we're learning, hey, technology can help us in this manner. I also think on the flip side, where John and I are going to be talking to candidates hot and heavy about it, is it's an omni-channel experience. So Anytime Fitness, which I know we're not talking about today, but largest fitness franchise in the world in 7 continents, 5,500 plus studios. And then you go to Orangetheory and you've got 1,200 plus studios. The same real estate team, the same construction team, the same operations team is all housed under one roof now, or 2 roofs, I should say, one in the north and one in the south. But that kind of omni-channel experience, it's going to be tough to find anywhere else, right? And so when you come into a system like this, not only is it scary and an investment and everything else, we've got you and we've got your best interest in mind. We're not just here to collect your money and say, you figure it out, right? We're truly here to say, well, we've learned from these mistakes, so you don't have to.
So what types of owners are attracted to investing in Orangetheory Fitness?
Yeah, excellent question. I tell the story all the time. There's really 2 types of people that can come in, and the perfect candidate's a blend of both, right? We'll get some people that they've heard of Orangetheory, they understand, recognize the brand, so it's a good investment for them. And then we have other people, much like you had mentioned, Laura, you go, they love it, it's changed their lives, so they're looking to possibly own their own. How do I get into it? But they don't have a whole lot of business acumen in their background, right? The perfect blend is somebody that understands that this isn't just an investment, right? It is, you're getting involved in this because you truly care about people's lives and helping change lives. And by the way, a byproduct of that is you can make some money and own a business and be your own boss. That's really where I think, as I mentioned before, we've taken some learnings, and we had some franchisees in the system that were looking at this as purely just an investment. And candidly, their studios weren't going to be as successful as others that truly invested in the community and became part of their local community.
So are you looking for predominantly owner operators that are going to be involved in the business day to day? Could I be a semi-involved owner and hire a quality general manager? What does that look like?
Fantastic question, Laura. And it's funny because it all depends on who you ask what semi-absentee or owner operator means, right? I think at the end of the day, the owner does need to be the operator, but also need to be invested in, at the minimum, their team, their employees, and helping them grow. And if that trickles down, where I'm invested in my manager and my coaches and making sure that their livelihood and their experience while working for me is good, that's going to transfer over into our members, right? And I don't necessarily think you need to be the person opening and closing the studio and hosting the coaches, because being a coach in our studios is a very hard skill set, right? You got to be a hype man or woman, and you got to be on the mic, and you really got to remember names and get after it. That's not a skill set that most operators have. So we really are looking for somebody that's investing into a business, but that investment also includes making sure that we're bringing along our employees and helping them develop into the people that are handling our members.
Yeah, so really casting that culture across their local gym and making sure that the GM and all of the coaches and the team members are happy, and that translates to happy members who stay for a long time. So I like that, because that culture is really, it starts at the top. And while Purpose Brands has that culture that you cast, the owner itself also has some autonomy in creating that business and making everybody happy. So I like that. So what are some innovations or some new technologies that are incorporated in Orangetheory that help support the owners in their growth?
Yeah, we've got some really fun things that we've just started to announce, some things that are still in pilot mode. As I mentioned before, it's science-backed, right? So using technology to kind of harness that science has really become a forte of Orangetheory. So, the heart monitor was kind of groundbreaking within boutique group fitness at the time. And now we're starting to do things where we need to attract more men, candidly, because the overarching perception of Orangetheory is it's a lot of cardio, and us guys, we like to lift the heavy weights, right? So we're incorporating some stuff into our class routines, one being OTF Strong, which again is not just lifting weights. Now we're going to incorporate that into the Orangetheory OTF Beats concept. So it's going to start tracking what your heart's doing while you're lifting weights, and how do we make sure that we're lifting and doing the recovery at the right times. So we have some equipment that we're trying out that are your power straps and your pull downs that feed right into that same monitor. It goes right to your app, and it's really using the science, like you'll hear me say multiple times, right? It's going to use that science to make sure that we're truly getting the most out of every workout.
Yeah, so whatever you measure, you can track and you can make improvements on, and see that over time. And I'm driven by those measurements. I do an in-body scan at my doctor's office, and it's nice to see like just incremental things. If the scale doesn't move, I'm improving visceral fat or heart rate or other things. So that's cool that you're monitoring all of those and on the leading edge of technology, as always, with Orangetheory. Is there anything else you want to share with our listeners that, if people have questions about Orangetheory and are interested in learning more, what would you share with them?
Yeah, I think the concept, we could sit here and talk about different gym brands and concepts out there. I think the unique perspective of our boutique fitness class is if we get some people in I don't need thousands and thousands of members, and hopefully some of them come, right? This is truly, I need a core group of people that are going to show up and want to change their lives and allow me to coach them towards that. And that's reoccurring business model, right? Because people are happy, they're coming back in. I'm not just going to get an influx of people in January and see them leave in February, March, right? This is truly life changing, and we have a significant amount of our members that stay much longer than the average of a normal gym membership for that very reason. So it's a sustainable model. I think the key thing is, much like anything else in franchising, is there's a system in place that's proven. And the people that we've seen the most success with are the ones that stick to that system and then add their own flavor, right? And we want to see that, because that flavor is what helps us stay on top of the up and coming trends.
Well, and I think Orangetheory does a great job of creating a sense of community. So if I go to the 5 a.m. or 9 a.m. or 6 p.m. class consistently, I'm going to see the same people, and we're going to be coached by probably the same coach or maybe two coaches, depending upon the day, and develop those strong relationships and motivate each other to keep coming back. And if you are part of a community, you don't ever want to leave. So I can see why that is a reason why your members are so loyal to Orangetheory.
100%.
Well, moving over to Waxing the City, I have a couple of new Waxing the Cities in the Chandler, Phoenix market, and it's on my short list to go visit them and see firsthand. I have not been yet. But John, talk about the niche that Waxing the City has carved out in self-care and why this brand is so attractive and scaling so quickly.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's interesting because I mentioned earlier that I've been here 17 years, but what you need to understand about that is about 13 and a half of those years was with our sister company, Anytime Fitness. I adore Anytime Fitness. I love Orangetheory. I love helping people on the health side. When I was asked to be the director of development about 3.5 years ago with Waxing the City, if I may, I'm going to be brutally honest, my knee-jerk reaction was no thank you. And it was out of my ignorance, truthfully. I'm a guy. I didn't know anything about the beauty or health space. I certainly do now, and I'm very passionate about it, but I didn't start that way. And when I dug into this, it was really interesting, my early findings, that I didn't realize more people wax than have a gym membership, first of all. And this is not a rip on our sister companies, because there's plenty of people working out, lots of options. That's great. Orangetheory, Anytime Fitness, best of the best in what they do, no doubt. And I knew that, right? I loved our brands. And I was passionate about fitness and still am, and helping people. But what I didn't understand is the waxing space, first of all, no doubt female predominantly driven. And if you would have asked me 5 years ago, no doubt 95, 98% women. It's not that case anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's darn near 75-25 right now. Last year was about 80-20 men to women. Way more men are coming into this field, first of all. Secondly, this is an industry that's been around for hundreds of years. This is not a fad, far from it. But it's in a very segmented part of the beauty space, right? Laura, I'll pick on you. I don't know your lifestyle, none of my business, but I'm going to bet where you get your hair cut or styled, you can probably get your eyebrows waxed at that very location the second Thursday of every month when Sue comes in, sort of thing, right? It's where wax has always lived. And that drove our co-founders crazy. So about 22 years ago, they started their first Waxing the City in Denver, Colorado, and it took off. So much so that they ended up having 4 studios in Denver, and they were winning Employer of Choice awards year after year. Their staff wasn't turning over. Their customers were deadly loyal. Everything Brett talked about as the loyalty of Orangetheory is absolutely true. You think of where you get your hair cut or styled. If they do a nice job, you're probably pretty loyal to that person. Most people are. You ramp that tenfold when it comes time to do a Brazilian or something, a very intimate service for a lady. If you do that service well and it's less painful and you have better results and better rapport with the customer, it's not even close. They are deadly loyal. They were seeing all this. And what's fun about it is, as I started researching this, the other neat thing about this industry that really drew me in early on, and most of my customers love, is it's built in recurring revenue. The natural hair growth cycle is 4 to 5 weeks. If I take care of you, and this is part of your lifestyle, and knowing more people wax than work out even, there's nowhere near the competition. We've done this for 22 years. We have our own proprietary all natural wax, soft and hard. And I was actually going to ask you, you beat me to it. Go out and get a service done at Waxing the City and report back to Brett and I will be dumbfounded if it's not the best wax you've ever had. And I'm not even kind of kidding. I've had it done myself. I've had a very bad back experience, if I'm being honest, way before Waxing the City. I'll leave that for another time. But that was part of my ignorance and why I said no thank you so fast, is I thought that was pretty darn painful. I'm never doing that again. It doesn't have to be that way. I'm telling you. I'm not saying that it's as enjoyable as a massage. I'll give you that. But it certainly doesn't have to be painful. And what's neat about our wax, without going down a rabbit hole, is it's proprietary, yes, but it's also based out of a Brazilian pine rosin. It has vitamins and soothing properties baked into it. And the biggest deal about our wax is it adheres to the hair follicle, not the skin. That right away means it's way better for your skin. It's nowhere near as aggressive. It also hurts less because it's not adhering to the skin and just being as sticky as it possibly can be. It is actually designed to go to the hair follicle, so you get way better results with less pain. So there's something to this. It's not just because we're better salespeople than our competitors. It has nothing to do with it. I'm passionate about this brand now because I've seen a lot of people get into it, help their clients, help their community, have a built-in recurring revenue model. And the fact is they can make money at this and they don't have to be passionate about it. It comes back to our culture. We tell people this all the time. I need you to be passionate about your team, your staff, your manager. They're going to be who gush on your customers. I don't really care if you do the service. I don't really care if you've ever been part of the waxing lifestyle. I have so many men that I've sold the last couple of years that have come into this because they've gone out and secret shopped one of our studios and they're like, man, you're not wrong, John. That was a way better experience. Now that this business model has legs. And then they look at our item 19 and our EBITDA and it's like, oh, okay, I can see where this business model can work. And then you pattern in the fact that we're sister company with Anytime Fitness and Orangetheory. We have over 7,500 combined stores. We have the network of support that few others have. So it puts Waxing the City in a really unique spot where we have a lot of white space growth without a lot of competition. There's more coming, there's no doubt. The last couple of years has been gangbusters for this brand, but it's been really, really fun. So as much as I love our sister companies, it's been a really fun ride to be over here the last 3.5 years. I've really enjoyed it.
I can feel your passion for Waxing the City. And you're right. You know, people, if I find somebody that does a good job with my hair, with other beauty services, with waxing, I haven't found that waxer yet, then I'm going to be loyal to them and I'm going to go back. If it's less painful than the last time I did it, then I'm going to go back and do it. You know, it's important to have my eyebrows done a certain way and my other, Brazilian, if I'm going to get that done, that just take care of it quickly.
Right.
But it's not like I don't talk about, I'm going to go get a wax this afternoon.
Right.
The way I say, I'm going to go to the gym or I'm going to go get a massage.
Right.
So people don't talk as much about it, but I think people are talking more about that. So I have a 30-year-old daughter and a 29-year-old son. And my son, I think, gets more waxing done than my daughter and I combined.
There you go. I told you, I'm telling you that it's a thing. And it's so funny because I had a guy from Atlanta, it's a quick story, that was looking to do this probably 3 years ago when I first started selling. And super nice guy, super intelligent businessman, just wanted to get out of corporate America. And he's like, John, I have to admit, I like all the business. I like the support. I've talked to your franchisees. I've come to your discovery date. I'm in. I just don't know the first thing about wax. And I don't know if I'm ever going to be as passionate about you. And I'm like, I don't need you to be passionate, but do me a favor. Either go get a service done or talk to people in your lives, your mom, your sister, your cousin, your friends. I don't care. He came back and said, John, on the next call, I swear to God, this is true. He goes, I talked to 5 people. 4 of them are already part of the waxing lifestyle. But to your point, Laura, they don't talk about it. It's not publicly really especially with men. I'm not going to brag to my buddies that I just went and got my back waxed. It's just, we don't do that.
No.
But I'm still a customer. So it was funny that when he went out and did his secret shopping, he's like, John, not only are 4 of the 5 of my people in my life who I trust, they're part of the waxing lifestyle. 2 of them said, oh my God, Waxing the City. Oh, you should buy into that franchise. They're killer. That's the best waxer out there. And it was like, then of course, closing that guy was super easy because then it wasn't me selling him anymore. So we're really proud of that name that we have. One thing I didn't mention is we are the pioneers of this model. There was no other competitors 22 years ago when we started this. No one else had taken the leap of faith that could waxing be a standalone business. There's a couple players now, still not a lot, but we are the pioneers of this model. So we really have a strong name in this industry and people know our wax. So again, not trying to put you on the spot, but I'll be surprised if you don't come back like, okay, that was pretty legit. And that's where people really get excited about this, because it's not just me getting excited about it. It's you seeing that there's a difference and feeling there's a difference.
Yes. Well, and people get excited when they look and feel good. And so, I don't look at somebody and go, oh, nice eyebrows.
Right. Right.
But you notice if you have like a unibrow or something like
Right.
that, like maybe you
Right.
should get that taken care of. Go see my friends at Waxing the City. But people are passionate about looking and feeling their best,
They
and
are.
people are also passionate about money. And you do have really strong earnings claims, which
We
if
do.
any of our listeners are interested in learning more about the investment level and earnings claims, certainly connect with me. I'll do a territory check, make sure it's available, and we can share. We can have John and Brett share franchise disclosure documents, and you can validate that those earning
Right.
numbers are strong, because people like to make money when you're in business
Right.
for yourself. So that's another factor. So
It is.
how?
Laura,
Yes.
one quick thing for I'm also a customer, but I do not want people to get confused. We don't do hair, although
Right.
John and I
I
look
was
like it.
wondering.
Right.
Yeah, that is not one of our services. We don't do
Cannot
that.
wax hair. It's too thick. No, not this hair.
Well, it looks really clean waxed, so I don't know. I have
Good
a lot
call out,
of
Brett.
bald friends in my life, so I don't think they go either. So as far as your investors, you said that about 75% of people who get the services are women, and that number continues to increase, that more and more men are doing it.
Right.
What does your typical investor in Waxing the City look like? Are they men, women, and what are their backgrounds?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's one that really kind of dumbfounded me, because when I started doing this, like I mentioned, three and a half years ago, I just assumed it was going to be 99% women, and that's perfectly fine. That's awesome. Nothing wrong with that. But I was wrong. The last couple of years, we've had immense growth, like having years of selling over 100 licenses per year sort of thing, which most franchises don't see that. Yeah, maybe Anytime Fitness does and Orangetheory did in their prime, but a small brand like Waxing the City, or used to be small, selling that clip is really, really impressive. In the last couple of years, I would say it's way more than 50% of men that have come in. Yes, they might be married, but I'm telling you, legit men that are just, they've done all their due diligence. They're going to be not the face of it, because again, you asked Brett the question as far as staffing, and you're absolutely going to do this semi-passively, especially if you're a man, no doubt. 99% of them do. You're going to hire a killer manager to work with that staff, be the face of your Waxing the City, and hire skilled professionals in your studio. That's a big call out for us. You're hiring ladies out of beauty school with their esthetician license or their cosmetology degree already. That's where your passion comes in. I don't need you as an entrepreneur or a small business owner to necessarily be passionate about wax. Now, if you or your wife, your spouse, your partner go and get wax and you become passionate about it like I am, love that, obviously. But it's not necessary, because your team is going to have that. So because of that, we've literally seen, and I know it's a cheating answer, but all walks of life. We've had insurance, we've had IT, we've had men, we've had ladies in the beauty space, teachers. It really, the biggest thing we want to teach is that you need to be good with people. This at its core is a people business. And if you don't like being around people, you don't like having fun with people, leading people, this isn't for you. I'm not trying to be cocky, but it's just true. You need to be good with people. That is so important here, and be a good leader of people. If you're good with waxing, that's the cherry on top, but it just isn't necessary. That's what our coaching is here for. That's what our team is here for. So I would just say the simple answer is, yep, you need to have some liquid capital net worth like any small business does, but it's not exorbitant. Our franchises don't cost millions of dollars. You're talking about a 1,500 square foot facility that might have 5 or 6 treatment rooms that you can find in these towns. So that's been really, really nice for us as well. So it really can be all walks of life. It doesn't have to be just ladies that have a passion for beauty. Certainly we love that, but that's not necessarily what we're looking for.
Well, and you have a lot of investors that look at multi-units,
More than not.
with Waxing the City. It's a great
More
brand
than not.
because you are, driving the culture and the values. You're not in the day-to-day operations. So
Right.
that's one of the things I love about the Waxing the City model.
Right. And to add to that, it's a great call out. Again, not to pat ourselves in the back, but literally Houston is sold out because we had a gentleman came in, got so excited about this, came and visited us at Discovery Day. He's like, okay, I'm not only all in, I want my whole damn market. I don't want to just do 1, 2, 3 of these. I want the whole market. Would you sell me all of Houston? 2 years ago, we had a gentleman do the same thing in Philadelphia and said, I have a whole bunch of supercuts. I want to buy this market. I want to buy Philadelphia. How many licenses do I need? San Francisco is darn near sold out. Twin Cities is sold out. So although there's a lot of white space growth, we're having, to your point, we're having a lot of people not just come in and buy one or two of these. I'm not saying you need to buy 20. You certainly can. A lot of people will buy three. A lot of people will buy five, and we'll give you 4, 5, 6 years to get them open. It's not a speed event for us. But a lot of people have gotten so excited about this model, they don't want to just end with one. And they don't want to wait for us to sell out a community and be like, gosh dang it, I wish I would have bought at least three, because then I could have opened at least three, even though, the market's sold out now. This model is in that space right now that you can kind of buy whatever your appetite is. It's not because we're upselling you, it's because people want to.
Well, and people
I'd
are
lo-
wealth builders, so they're looking to really grow a
100%.
big business. And opening one is great. You can certainly make a good amount of money there. But
Yep.
if you're really creating a legacy and have that wealth builder mentality, empires are built on multi-unit ownership.
It is. It is. And a lot of people will coach to this as well. A lot of people, especially with this brand, maybe Orangetheory a little bit too, um, they won't quit their day job for the first one, right? They keep their day job, hire a killer manager, and hire staff and work with them, no doubt. Maybe you're putting in some time into this, but nothing you have to quit your day job. But the idea, to your last point, is if you have 2, 3, 4 of these, whatever it needs, maybe now you walk from your day job because you just don't simply need it anymore. And that's for what we hear most of what our goals are for our franchisees. Maybe they never walk from their day job, but certainly the goal for most is that maybe I need 2, maybe I need 5, but wherever that is, I absolutely am walking from my day job because I want to just do this. Maybe that needs more than one, and that's what most people are thinking. You're right.
So Brett, back to you. How long, like if somebody is listening to this podcast and they have an interest in Orangetheory, how the discovery process, I usually say, is about 8 to 12 weeks, depending upon how quickly the candidate is ready to move forward. But once they sign that franchise agreement, how long does it take them to get open?
Yeah, we'd like to say 8 to 12 months, but there's a lot of variables there, right? Going back to the benefit of working with purpose brands, not just Orangetheory, is our real estate team is really here to set you up for success, right? And so that means we're going to help make sure that our recommendations are in your best interest. So we're not just going to grab the first piece of real estate, no matter what the net rents are. We want to make sure that we're finding the good real estate with that also helps you with your overhead. So the ramp up to green is good. I would say the average is 12 months, but we've had some in the market while we negotiate that lease. It's been 14, 16 months, right? But on average, 8 to 12.
Very good. And so you're newer to franchising than John and I are. What are some myths that you learned, that you heard before you joined Purpose Brands, that you would like to clear up with our listeners about franchising in general?
Yeah, again, my experience is with Purpose Brands, so I'm biased, but I really do think this is a perfect avenue for somebody that knows that they want to own their own business, but they're scared, right? And so this is a perfect way to kind of lean into that and use the experience of others. This is not put our name on your building and have a great day. Let us know when you're mailing your check for our royalties, right? At the end of the day, this is for lack of a better term, a business in a box, right? If you have something come up, odds are we've dealt with it and know of a way to get around that pothole or that issue, and we have a way to handle it. I would say that's the biggest misnomer. We're not just sitting here collecting money. I know in our South Campus, there is a whole part of our campus that is an actual laboratory where they're testing new workouts, testing new equipment. They're testing all of this on not our employees. They're testing them on actual people that would be our members, right? And that to me is really kind of, it opened my eyes. Not that it was shocking, but it's all over everything we do. When you go down into our server room above it, it says franchisees first, right? Like it is not a bunch of corporate speak buzzwords around here. It's literally how we do everything. People first, making sure we do the right thing. Because if we do the right thing, it'll always come back to us, right? And really, Laura, to circle all the way back to how we started this conversation, that's how I'd like to try to live my life. We all have areas of opportunity, right? So go to work someplace that really lines up with that, it's hard to find, right? And I had the unique advantage of knowing some people that did work here and understand that it's not just buzzwords and speak, right? And so that's what makes John and I's job super easy, right? I always tell everybody, I don't really have to sell you on anything. I'm just going to tell you the facts, and it's either a fit or not, because it's a no-brainer that it's a business model that works, and all of our brands are that way.
Yep. Great answer. Yeah, the culture, the fit, the scalability, the innovation. Had no idea that you had labs to test out things. So you're always on the forefront of what's new, what's next, to support your franchisees and the members of any of the brands. So that's terrific. So John, what is next on the horizon for Purpose Brands, for your growth on that note?
Yeah, we're always looking, everybody always asks us, or a lot of people ask us, look, we have 5 brands now. When are we adding the next one? And although there definitely will be more brands on the horizon, we've talked to, the powers that be, we're in executive meetings and we'll hear it. It's nothing short term. Our focus right now, about a year and a half ago when we merged with Orangetheory, it takes a good while when you take 2 companies of this size and truly, truly, truly merge them. You're talking about 750 employees and just really trying to get all those synergies to work, from IT to real estate to it's way more than you might realize, more than I even gave it credit. We have so many had and have so many similarities. Do you think that would be relatively easy? It's a heavy lift. And I'd probably argue that we're still ironing out some of those last little tiny things, but now we're just full steam ahead. So I think all of our focus in the short term is going to be just making these brands even better than they already are, innovate. And like I said before, we feel like we have a target on our back. Just because we're the number one, we're the fastest, we're the biggest, that's great, but nobody around here has that attitude. They truly don't. We're modest. We're proud of what we've done, but it's like, don't spend your time patting yourself on the back. Let's go, because now everybody's gunning for us. That's where the innovation truly comes in, because we feel like we have to get better, or we're going to get past, and it hasn't happened yet. So although there will be more brands on the horizon, maybe it's something to do with nutrition, we're all about trying to keep people healthy. This is all of our brands. Our brand used to be called Self-Esteem Brands. That wasn't just to be corny or be cute either. It was all about, because all of our brands were always going to have to do with making people feel better. And our big brand standard was improving the self-esteem of the world, like one member at a time, quite literally. And we have 7 million members between all of our brands. It's pretty wild when you really put a number to it. And
Wow.
it's pretty neat the impact we've really had, starting from just one Anytime Fitness 23 years ago in Cambridge, Minnesota. It's wild the fact that we've gotten this big, and we'll continue to grow. I don't really have a brand name at this point, but we'll continue to grow. At this point, our focus right now is just to make these brands better than they already are.
I love to hear that, because when I hear, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, we don't want to leave anything behind. And you
Right.
guys are very purposeful
We
in
are.
your purpose brands to make sure that you're the best you can be and continue to get better,
Right.
for the system, for the franchisees, and for your members. I
Right.
mean, that's a lot of members.
It is. It is. And it's something we work daily on. It's something we're really, really proud of. So yeah, from the top down, it's not just something we're told to read the script. I mean, it's something all of us have, for lack of a better term, drank the Kool-Aid. We believe it, we see it, we feel it. It's just a good group of people.
So, John, if anyone listening is considering franchise ownership with Purpose Brands, what would be your encouragement or call to action for them?
Just learn more about it, right? Because like Brett said, not everybody, it's not going to be a fit for everybody, right? As much as hopefully you can see it and you made a comment about it that I'm passionate, this is real. This is who I am. This isn't fake. It's who we are. And both Brett and I both wear our heart in our sleeves, and yeah, that can get us in trouble sometimes, but more than not, we do it through the lens of being just brutally transparent. I'm not going to be ignorant or cocky enough to say that I can sell anybody waxing the city, because it's not a matter of that. It's not a contest. we need to truly make sure, number one, you're a good fit for us. This is a very tight-knit family if you're not already getting that out of this call. And number two, that we're a good fit for you, right? Obviously, more so that we're a good fit for you, but we very much bring people into Discovery Day, for example, to make sure that we roll the red carpet out for them and for you guys. And we do a killer job at that. I would put us against anybody, but this isn't a high pressure close situation. Far from it. We need to then make sure that our team likes all the people that came to Discovery Day and that we want to offer them licenses and how many. This is the other thing I think where we really have our head in the right space. This isn't a matter of how deep are your pockets with us. And I think this is where we start to separate ourselves a little bit from the crowd, not to disrespect anybody else, but it isn't a matter of, well, how much money do you have? Yep, you can buy a 10 pack. I might not allow you to buy a 10 pack because if your history doesn't show that I think you can sustain or hold 10, I might want you to start with 3. I might only allow you to buy 3. And that's not a rip on anybody. It's trying to protect this brand. It's trying to protect you from yourself, right? People's eyes can be bigger than their stomach sometimes. So you need to save them from themselves. So I just think all of those things really add up. And to answer your question, I think you should reach out to us, not because we're going to sell you. This is consultative, but we're going to teach you about these brands. And if we find one that's a killer fit, I promise you will love this team. You will love the support. I don't think there's anybody doing it like we do, but it's not for everybody. And like Brett and I will tell people midstream through that 6, 7, 8 week process that you talked about that it might take to sign a franchise agreement. If you to tell me 3, 4 weeks in, or you tell Brett, boy, you guys seem awesome, but I just don't think that's the right time in my life, we part as friends. And we mean that genuinely. This isn't a matter of us hounding you. We do not want to pull anybody through this process kicking and screaming. And it's not fun for us. It's not fun for you guys. So the answer to your question is we want to make sure it's a good fit for people. And if it is, you will love it. If it's not, we part as friends and we'll both go on to do great things.
Yeah, it's a mutual discovery process. So you're
is.
looking at candidates to make sure they're going to be successful in the business, and the candidates are looking at you guys. Can I be successful in this business? And do I feel comfortable with Waxing the City, Orangetheory, Anytime Fitness, the Bar Method, etc.
Right.
And so it's got to be a good fit because it's a big investment and a big part of your future as a franchisee, a long-term commitment.
It is.
Brett, do you have any other parting words for our listeners today?
Yeah, the one that I will kind of touch on is make sure you want to have fun, right? Like we're not selling heart transplants here. We are changing lives for the better, but we're going to have fun doing it.
Right.
In a good way. That this is as serious as we get, right? Like we understand it's a serious investment. It's a big opportunity and change of lives. But at the same time, nothing says we can't have fun doing it, right? So we very much so work hard, play hard, make sure that culture not only stays here at the corporate office, but it's also coming through to the studios. And I think at the end of the day, we touched a lot on how big and great Purpose Brands is and our reach and experience and everything else. The fun part is we're also really small, right? So we are in your communities. All of our brands tie us to our communities, and it's got a feel of a small business, but with a lot of employees, right? And so you really hit on both sides of that coin, and it's hard to do that, right? And so usually as you get bigger, culture kind of fades, things aren't as fun, right? And I would really say that's not who we are here.
Good call out.
So for our listeners interested in a great culture, a good fit, who want to have fun, who want to build an empire, please reach out. We'd love to chat with you about Waxing the City, Orangetheory Fitness, or any of the other Purpose brands. Love to help you learn more and help you make an informed decision if franchising is the right path for you. John, Brett, both great conversations today. Delightful having you on the show. Thanks for joining the Powered by Franchising podcast.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for thinking of us, Laura. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Laura.